Hello, tubies. I meant to do this video and the next one on Friday, but I was apparently all kinds of crazy. So we're gonna do this one today. This is an incense video because who the fuck doesn't like incense? And for this one, I used this one yesterday for something. Can't get into the details of what. But this one is pretty potent. I'm gonna grind this one up pretty fine because I use it for dressing candles and I don't like to have clunky incense on the candles or a clunky dressing for the candles. Like I don't like to have big chunky herbs. This one works pretty well. For those of you who don't know, I dress all of my candles in coconut oil, and then it's a blessed coconut oil, and then usually just dress them up with the herb mixture. This, you could leave this as chunky as you want for regular incense on a coal or whatever you like. But this one's really great for healing, for wishes, for things that you desire, for love spells, for all kinds of things, really. So one of the things I'm going to be using a lot of is lavender, because I love the smell of lavender. Depending on the intentions that you want to put into this, it can be used for all kinds of things. I will put the intentions in after this video for the thing that I'm working on. I also like to use honeysuckle. So I'm going to put in a relatively big pinch of honeysuckle. Copal for me represents the heart, the human heart, and there's a lot of associations with that. So I like to put in, you know, a fair amount, but again, you can put in whatever you want. In terms of amounts, nothing is measured. For the particular thing that I was working on, bay leaves were a big part of it. For most of you who know, I'm only going to put in about 3. For most of you who know, when it comes to money spells, I use bay leaves because they represent money. In fact, this is the money oil that I have, and it's got all kinds of things in there. And then this is the money incense that I use. And the oil has the exact same ingredients as the incense. The other thing, the last thing that I'm going to be putting in is a fully dried red rose. You can purchase red roses at most grocery stores, have like bouquets of roses and stuff. So I just put the whole thing in there. You want to dry them out really well, so hang them upside down, let them dry for, I'd say, a month. Mine have not been used for like 6 months. So, and then it's just a matter of just crushing everything up. Getting it all, again, you can leave this as chunky as you want it, but for my purposes and for the thing that I'm doing, I need this rather fine. So I like to use a heavy duty mortar and pestle. This is the type of pestle that I use when I'm grinding up resins. Speaking of which, I was on New Age Imports last night just looking to see, because I need to buy more coals, so I was looking to see what new stuff they've got, and they've got all kinds of like really nice new incense, new resin, stuff like that. So might be purchasing some of that rather sooner rather than later. So again, for me, I need this to be pretty fine, and you can see just how fine this is. Like, this is pretty much like a dust almost. You don't have to have yours this fine. If you were to do it this fine, you'd probably want to put more on a coal or less. I'd probably actually go with less because it's going to have a very potent smell, especially. It's going to smell mostly of lavender. Those roses are going to come through. And then the honeysuckle, but it mostly smells of lavender. So again, I use this incense for dressing on candles. I also burn this incense. The other ingredient that I'm going to put in that you don't have to put in for this one, but because this is working with spirits. I'm going to put in their favorite herb, which is patchouli. Everybody's entities that they work with are gonna like different herbs, but for some of the spirits that I work with, patchouli is their offering. There's been times where I don't have patchouli and they will go like, they'll flip the fuck out. So that's basically it. Now, if you're using this for like a healing based incense, I'd put in more lavender and more copal, because copal pieces could also represent the body. You could build a little, I'd say dolly or whatever it is that you build. I've seen the Lady Grave Dancer talk about this, where you build the person in the jar, but you could do the same thing within the incense. So you build them out of, say, copal for the head and the heart, and honeysuckle for the arms and the legs, lavender, place lavender over them for the healing, place some peppermint as well, crush it all up, burn it for them. Dress a candle in it using some oil, whatever oil you have on hand, you know, that type of thing. Really great for healing, because then as you're building that, you're putting the energy of that person and what you want for them into that particular type of incense. But usually when it comes to this type of incense, it's pretty obvious what it's for, especially when I put in a red rose, lavender, honeysuckle, and a copal that represents the heart. I mean, these are all ingredients for a love spell, so, but I can't get into the specifics of what it's for, who it's for, or why I'm doing it. So this is basically pretty much it. I mean, it's super simple. Again, you don't have to have it this fine. If you do try out this incense, I'd love to know what your thoughts are of it, how chunky you kept it, or if you're using this in other spells like healing or whatever, I'd love to know what kind of results you got out of it, or what you thought of the smell. The big proponent here, even as I was crushing it, the big smell is lavender. Okay? So I have another video coming today, and that'll probably be it for now. I don't really have any. I do have a book of video topics, but I'm just not in the mood to go through them and be like, hey, let's talk about this, because they're mostly talking point videos, and I thought I would do some showing. I mean, we haven't made an incense in a long time.